Spencer Fano and KC Concepcion. What's your? How do you feel about it?
Well, I don't really understand how the Browns would trade back at that point. I don't really have a problem with it, except for the fact that Cardell Tate's gone, right? And then we went ahead and had that pick, Spencer Fano, not bad. But then we went ahead and had the pick with Casey's Concepcion at 24?
Yeah,
24
24.
is what we're doing.
Yeah,
Okay. Don't understand that pick.
I don't either.
We need a big receiver in the AFC North. I don't understand that pick at all. What's your take on it?
Well, if anybody was watching our coverage of the first round of the draft, I wanted Denzel Boston. I would have been very happy picking him at 9, and he got through the first round. So if we can get through this first round with KC Concepcion at 24 and end up with David Boston, or not David Boston, that's his dad, very good wide receiver out of Ohio State, um, with Denzel Boston at 39, I'm going to be happy. And actually, I think at this point, you need to trade up to get him because I don't understand how he got out of the first round. If you're watching the draft, Mel Kiper, I think for the last 7 or 8 picks, he was the number one rated guy coming out of the draft.
Yeah.
Go get him. What are we waiting for? I was like, go get him at 28, go get him at 29, go get him at 30, go get him at 31. Um, I'm not a big KC Concepcion fan. Brick hands, smaller wide receiver,
Correct.
great athlete. And look, if we would have got him at 39, which I think we could have, which is what pisses me off.
He might still be there at 39.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He might still
And
be
we're
there
going to round 2 tomorrow, and we could be picking him.
at 39, which is the 7th pick in the second round. Um, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. I Spencer Fano at 9. Once we lost out on Carnell Tate at 6, I knew there was going to be a trade. I actually thought there was going to be a trade back at 9 too, and how quick that pick was put in at 9. I thought that was going to be Caleb Downs. Wouldn't have been angry about it, but obviously we don't need defense right now. Um, to get Spencer Fano, I think that's going to be. Hopefully, he ends up being Joe Thomas. Hopefully, he's going to be a stalwart of the offensive line for 10 years, and that's what he needs to be at 9. Just like I was pissed last year with Mason Graham at 5. This guy better be fucking all pro. We didn't pick a quarterback at 5. We didn't pick a running back at 5, or a wide receiver or anything that we fucking needed. We got a defensive tackle. That guy better end up being the guy. Uh, and I also think Fano better end up being the guy, and KC Concepcion better prove me wrong.
All right. Here's my take on the whole thing. I want to find out from the Browns fans how you rate it, because right now I think we're about a Spencer Fano away from being F minus in this
Yep.
draft.
Yep.
I don't understand how you go and have Casey Concepcion there. Jordan Tyson went. Carnell Tate went. Carnell Tate, we couldn't do anything about that unless you thought you wanted to go ahead
Well,
and
and
parlay.
I've said this for 2 weeks. If you needed to put 6 and 24 to go up to 4 or 5 or wherever he was going to get picked and get him, I would have done it. Would have done it. We need a playmaker at wide receiver.
Yeah. Knowing what we know now, though, so would you have taken an offensive lineman at that 6 point instead of doing what we did and then
Well, I mean, we got an offensive lineman at 9, so you might as well pick up your draft capital. So I'm not mad at that. But at the 6 point, or even, yeah, at the 6 point, I probably would have took Jordan Tyson. if this is what we're going to end up, unless we end up with Denzel Boston. I'm telling you, I'm telling everyone that watches our podcast that Denzel Boston is going to be the best wide receiver in this draft class. I'm telling you this now.
I'm not sure if Denzel Boston's the best wide receiver. I mean, Carnell Tate, probably the best wide receiver.
Okay, besides
Carnell Tate.
Yeah.
Jordan Tyson, I liked his look coming out of the draft tunnel. I liked all that. I don't understand.
And I'm not saying any other wide receiver wouldn't be good.
Right.
But as soon as Carnell Tate was off the board, and we picked Spencer Fano at 9, my thought at 24, go get the 6'4" wide receiver, get the guy that's Braylon Edwards without the stone hands, and start building your fucking offense.
Well, you got the stone hands right.
Well, we got the stone hands.
We got the fucking stone hands right?
Yeah.
At 5'11".
He's just not 6'3" like Braylon Edwards.
And it's funny to me that they decided to put footage of him in special teams.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's pick a guy at 24 that is our punt returner.
Right. I like the 5'11" and 7/16.
Love Dennis Northcutt. Would never have picked him at 24 in the fucking draft.
Agreed.
Am I wrong?
No, you're 100% not wrong.
Okay.
There's two big receivers that was going to be in the first round. Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson. Those are the guys we really wanted to see.
6'1", which, again, I would have been...
Bigger receivers.
I would have been happy because, I mean, and we had our quabbles with him being injured in college.
And we did.
But I would have been like, okay, this is a bigger wide receiver. That's your number one. Does anybody think that KC Concepcion is going to come in here and immediately be the guy?
No.
Like, this is a shot in the fucking dark. If Denzel Boston walks in at 6'4", you tell me that guy's your number one wide receiver?
Yeah.
With his pedigree, played at Washington. Dad's a fucking All-American at Ohio State, Pro Bowler in Miami and in San Diego. And, I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm usually not. I'm usually not wrong.
Let me ask you this. Who won the draft?
I think the Jets did pretty good.
I think the Jets did really good.
There was a lot of movement in the first round. This was a fun fucking draft to cover.
It was.
I'm glad we did this.
I would say the Jets probably won the draft, except for it is the Jets.
Well, it is the Jets.
They moved back in. They got pieces.
I think the Titans got what they needed.
They did.
Because I do think Ward is going to be their quarterback moving forward.
Yeah.
I really do.
I agree with that.
At least, for the next 2 or 3 years. I mean, I think the Titans are going to be a fun team to watch. And, I think Tate's really going to help Ward's development.
How did John Harbaugh do there with the Giants?
Well, and I think the Giants did pretty good too.
I'm going to tell you this. I think the Giants missed out. I think the Giants probably should have taken Caleb Downs at 10. That's what they were going to do.
That was one thing that I think we both thought was going to happen. He
slipped one more to the Cowboys. The Cowboys, you did great. I feel like you did what you needed to do, and you have a captain on your defense now.
Right. Right. Well, and I mean, we talked about this with the Browns trading back from 6, so Jerry could come up and get Caleb Downs at 6. Well, guess what? He just had to give up a couple of fucking 5th rounders to go get Caleb Downs at 11.
Right.
So, if you want to talk like biggest winners of the draft, I mean the Cowboys might be up there too.
They might be up there. Yeah.
And
Kansas City just sneakily getting back in there. The Bills just progressively moving back.
That was one trade I didn't think was going to happen, was with us trading with Kansas City so they could move up to 6 to get a fucking corner.
Yeah.
Who else was going to pick that corner?
Spencer Delane going.
I'll give Andrew Berry this, because I don't think they needed to make that trade.
I don't either, because I think Spencer Delane would have been there.
Yeah, I think you would have been there. I think you would have been there at 15.
And
I
that's
think you would have been there
fine.
at 18.
And we're going to find out tomorrow what exactly happens, what transpires.
Right.
Andrew Berry may or may not be with the Browns after this draft class.
I think the trade back to 9 was a good thing.
I do
Because
too. You got draft capital.
as soon as Tate was gone at 4, I was like, all right, you got to trade back. But I thought we were going to get Tyson or even Downs, and I was so against us drafting a defensive player at that first spot in the draft. But if you would have got Caleb Downs, I mean, that's a
generational talent.
That's Ed Reed.
We hope.
That's Ed Reed.
Yeah, probably.
And okay, so we got Fano at 9. Maybe that's Joe Thomas. I really like him. I think he's going to be a good NFL player. I think he's going to play in this league for 10 to 15 years. I don't think you made a mistake there. You know, a lot of our hopes were based on the fact that Carnell Tate was going to be there at 6.
Right.
Which, you know, I mean, when we talked about this 2 months ago, we kind of was like, no, he could not be there.
And Spencer Fano, he's the kind of guy that you could just kind of plug in different parts on the line.
I think he's a Pro Bowler.
Which I understand.
I think he might be a Pro Bowler in his first year.
But he's not a true left tackle, and we both agree that there probably wasn't a guy you were going to take at that point.
No. Well, and like I said, I've seen a lot of mock drafts with Caden Proctor going at 6.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, he's not a natural left tackle. And I was like, I don't want to reach for a tackle early. I would rather get my wide receiver with that first pick, which if we couldn't get Carnell Tate, I would rather have Tyson over Lemon, which ended up going way deeper in the draft because I think everyone saw what we saw. And that just didn't happen. And then at 24, I really think you could have got Casey Concepcion at 39.
I think Casey Concepcion and a lot of the Cleveland pods and everybody was talking about him possibly being the guy there. I don't have a problem with the 5'11 guy, 5'11 and change, going at that 24 pick.
You don't have a problem with him?
No, I said I do.
Oh.
No, I do.
I
especially
do too.
when you're calling you're showing footage of him being in special teams.
Right. That's why are you not picking Denzel Boston there? The guy was all right on Mel Kiper. I was waiting for Mel to crash the fuck out. I ended up crashing out twice on the pod. And because that's who you need. The guy is a stud. The guy's going to push someone out of the fucking way and go up and get the ball when you need that to happen. We have Isaiah Bond to go deep. You need somebody on the outside, not Jerry Jeudy with Captain Brick Hands. Now we just got another guy that's Captain Brick Hands, Casey Concepcion. Unless that all of a sudden fucking changes, which I don't think it's going to change.
No.
I really don't.
It's going to be interesting to see what Andrew Berry does day 2.
It's got to be wide. It's got to be wide receiver with that first pick. If it's not wide receiver,
yeah. So we got kick returner.
Yeah, a kick returner at 24. We got Dennis Northcutt at 24.
That's what we got. Thank you, James.
And I love Dennis Northcutt, and he's probably not even going to end up being as good as Dennis Northcutt because at least he fucking had a few years of 800 plus receiving yards. I don't think this guy's going to do that. I really don't.
But we know what Andrew Berry does, right? He likes to move back for draft capital. He generally likes defensive players, and he doesn't want to move up. Right. Now, we know Carnell Tate went at number 4 to the Titans, right?
Again,
that's fine.
No, well, it's not fine to me. Use the 6 to 24 to fucking go up and get him. Why do we not have balls to go and get the guy that we want?
Okay.
That's who I wanted. I would have traded 6 and 24 to go up to 4 to get Carnell Tate.
That's a lot. I mean, that is a lot.
Okay, well, you would have got a second-round pick in return for that.
Probably.
So you would have got Carnell Tate, and then, at this point, you could have got Denzel Boston with him. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
True statement.
Pete, terrible pick. He fucking knows. So we got a kick returner and a punt return 24. Right.
Thank you, Pete.
Or
100%
Cooper
agree.
Jr. Cooper Jr. I was also high on. If we would have got Cooper Jr. at 24, I probably wouldn't have crashed out. Probably would not have crashed out. And yes, James, I hope I eat my fucking words too. I've said this to him. I could be wrong, but I'm usually not fucking wrong. In 2018, I wanted Saquon Barkley and Josh Allen. Imagine this fucking team with those guys.
We'd be in a Super Bowl.
We'd be in a fucking Super Bowl.
I'm the bad guy, brown guy.
I'm just the guy here chugging fucking rum and coke.
Hey, Pete, just as a Notre Dame fan, how do you feel about both Notre Dame running backs going the first round?
They can barely read English. Notre Dame.
I mean, yeah, Jerome Bettis could barely read English, but hey, we could have moved up with those assets. Got Lemon. Again, all right, this is what I said about Mekhi Lemon. I think he's got talent, but I think he's like an AB, like that's a head case. And do we really need that in Cleveland? I think Carnell Tate, that's why I would have traded up to get Carnell Tate. Because you have a talent there that's not going to be fucking AB. That's in 4 years needs to get the fuck out of here because can't put his hat on right.
Well,
even though he put his hat on right.
Right, he did. So let's not forget that the Eagles went ahead and took Mekhi Lemon, right? With a trade with Dallas again, and Mekhi Lemon went at 20, and then we went ahead and got Casey Concepcion at 24. I think Mekhi Lemon went from a guy that's spouting off to humble that quick because everybody was talking about him going in the top 10.
Yeah, but I mean, he went to 20. He was in the first round, and I think he probably.
So was Casey Concepcion.
He went to Philadelphia, and
they're kind of the same guy.
But we can all be realists here, and like, if you're going to Philadelphia, you're going to win some football games.
Probably, if Jalen Hurts can learn more than just
and not even just being Jalen Hurts or whatever. Like you're going to be in the fucking playoffs. You might end up in a Super Bowl at some point.
Well, and we don't know that now because I think Dallas really improved too with
I think Dallas did really good.
The Caleb Downs pick. I think that was
we did call that. I mean, we called
pick.
that 2 months ago that they were going to get Caleb Downs, and we thought they were going to trade up to 6 to get him there, but they ended up just having to swap with Miami and get him at 11. I thought Jerry Jones did a pretty good fucking job today.
Yeah. Honestly think Price would go in the second round, but we're their first round pick. Stud and will run someone over.
Yeah, I
okay. Agreed.
I talked about this during our live.
Pick.
Yeah. Giants did a pretty good job. Giants did a really good job.
I feel like the Giants.
This is why we wanted Harbaugh in Cleveland, because I'm telling you, if Harbaugh would have ended up here, we would have been picking 4 Carnell Tate.
I feel like the Giants may have missed out with the Dexter Lawrence trade because I think that the Giants could have went ahead and picked Caleb Downs at 10 instead of the Cowboys getting him at 11.
Maybe. I still think if you're a betting man, pick the Giants win the NFC East. I still think Philadelphia goes in as a wild card, but I think the Giants makes that.
It's going to be interesting.
That run.
It's going to be interesting.
The NFC East is going to be a very interesting division to watch.
Yep. Agreed.
AJ going to New England, that's almost guaranteed. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's almost guaranteed at this point. Well, and that's where we were against Mekhi Lemon because I think that's just the kind of player he's going to be. He's going to be super productive, but he's not going to be a locker room guy. And I think where we are right now, unless we were going for a Super Bowl, you don't need that type of guy.
Right.
Washington. I mean, the NFC East, that's going to be fun. I thought Washington did a pretty good job in the draft today.
Yeah, they did. I mean, you picked up Sonny Styles there, and people thought that...
Dude, that's Brian Urlacher, and you're talking about the fucking things they were doing.
Twice they brought that up on the live draft. I mean, about Brian Urlacher. I mean, if Sonny Styles can be that kind of player in the NFL,
I think
that's
that I think
great.
that's like a good coat or good. I think that's what Sonny Styles is going to be. He's going to be that guy's going to be a franchise player for
Yeah.
Washington.
And I do like him. I like Sonny Styles actually better than I do Arvell Reese.
Yeah, Arvell Reese is like a raw talent.
Right. I think Sonny Styles, he's humble, and I think that's exactly what Washington needs right there.
Yep.
And with them, Jeremiah Love was kind of mocked to go to Washington, but man, I just feel like I don't know. I feel like the Browns probably could have fleeced somebody else.
The Browns fumbled the first round.
Yeah, I agree.
They fumbled it.
I agree.
That is what it is. I'm gonna still wear this fucking jersey because I know I can't be a Bengals fan. Definitely can't be a fucking Steelers fan. But if we end up with Denzel Boston in the second round, I'm gonna be happy.
I mean, the Steelers taking Iannacore, right?
I'm just happy they didn't get Ty Simpson because I feel like there's two places that he could have really done some damage. It's L.A. and Pittsburgh, and I think he's going to be a good quarterback for them in the future. He's gonna be in the perfect situation. L.A. I mean, they're going to be fight for that NFC West crown for the next 4 years. With I still think he's got a lot in the tank. So he's gonna sit there and watch one of the best to ever do it, Matt Stafford. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think of that pick 13. I mean, Ty Simpson, it probably was going to be the best situation for Ty Simpson with the pick with Sean McVay. Yeah. He's a developmental quarterback for sure. He probably came out a year early, but I don't blame him for coming out.
I think he went out a year early knowing that he could go to fucking Washington or go to the Rams.
Well, I think he also.
It was either the Rams or Pittsburgh. There's no, and going into this, I was like, there's no way he's not getting picked in the first round.
Yeah, and I also think that good for Ty Simpson and his agent, because if you're thinking, okay, well, the quarterback class is pretty slim. Why would you not want to go in this year's draft instead of next year's draft?
It's like a Cardell Jones type situation, even though he was like, you go out and go into the third round, which he probably should have that first year, because the year after he didn't really play well at Ohio State. But no, I think Ty Simpson's actually going to be pretty good for LA whenever he has to go out there and start, because he's going to be able to sit behind him and develop.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this,
and just like you said, no pressure.
No pressure.
And
like that's why
you had
how happy was he when he fucking put that hat on?
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you? You don't have to go out there and start day one.
Right.
Maybe go do some cleanup duty the first 2 years, and you're going to be locked and loaded and ready to go. I think Ty Simpson has all the athletic ability, the arm strength, and all that stuff, but I think he does need some development.
Well, and the Rams are in win now mode too.
Yeah.
So they went ahead and got those corners. They went ahead and got them. Kansas City. They made some free agency moves there.
Right.
I mean, Sean McVay is always one step ahead, and he thinks he's in win now mode.
Sean McVay is going to go down as one of the best head coaches ever.
Okay. That's fine. No, I mean, I like McVay.
Even if he ends up with 3 or 4 titles, Belichick has 7. Like, holy shit.
I like McVay a lot more than I do Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just sucks that Kyle Shanahan's in the same division.
Well, and
everybody kind of glazes the 49ers.
And can we just talk about what Buffalo does in the first round always?
Always. Whew.
Like they have, and that's where I was like, dude, Denzel's going there. I thought.
I just kept bringing it up because I just wanted to get under your skin.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Oh, right.
But they just will not pull the trigger in the first round.
Yeah.
They won't do it
I mean, we know Keon Coleman, they got thrown under the bus from the ownership, right?
in the GM.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Buffalo is another one of those, like, I don't think they'll ever win one because of that.
I don't know.
I love
Just-
Josh Allen. I
just
think
root
anybody
Josh
that's a NFL fan loves Josh Allen. That's not like a Patriots fan. It's just hard to see them going to the next step when they don't have a front office that has the balls to like go out there and get him a weapon. Uh, I mean, they had Stephon Diggs, but I mean, was he really in the prime of his career? He went to New England. I mean, we seen what that was in the Super Bowl. I mean, this was a very entertaining first round of the NFL draft. Man, I think the Browns really fucked the pooch. And they could make it all better in the second round early. You have the ammo to go get your guy. I thought, maybe they could go and trade back with Dallas at that 6th pick. I thought they could trade back. I mean, Dallas ended up getting Caleb Downs at 10. I thought they could trade back at 6 and get 3 first-round picks and really shake things up and get Denzel Boston and get maybe 2 offensive linemen or get him and Casey Concepcion. I would not be mad if like that is your pick to be your number 2 wide receiver, number 3 wide receiver, and be a special teams guy. I would get that because we do need special teams help. We need a lot of help in a lot of areas, but man, we could have done so much better today, and it just pisses me off.
I feel disappointed. I feel this emptiness because we've been talking this up for like the last 2 months. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Cleveland radio tomorrow.
And I couldn't believe that when we seen the trade was in because it was quick. It was with fucking Kansas City. I'm like, at 9? What are you going to get at 9 that you couldn't get at 6?
Right.
And then as soon as that pick got in, I was like, all right, Caleb Downs. Like, that's if you're going to make that pick that quick, I'm like, that's a generational player. I get it. You're going to get Ed Reed at your number 9 pick. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And then we get the tackle. I'm like, and to me, it's a better pick at 9 than it would have been at 6. But come on.
I mean, the Browns, in my opinion, are a Spencer Fano away from getting an F minus.
Yeah.
On this first round.
Like I'm at C- on the first round just because I think Spencer Fano. Huh?
I'm at a D.
Yeah.
If you didn't take him there and just tomorrow, it doesn't. We don't know what's going to happen, right? We don't know what's going to happen.
I am all in. I just want everyone to know how all in I am on David Boston or Denzel Boston. If we get him in the second round, it will change my direction because I think he's that type of impact player. I don't think Casey Concepcion is. I think Spencer Fano is going to be a really good left tackle. I really do.
He moves around the line, so
he's got to be versatile. The left tackle. You're number 9 overall. You got to be the left tackle.
He should be.
What if he's playing guard? Oh God, no. Well, Dewan at left tackle. No, I think Dewan's going back to right tackle, and I think that's the right move to make.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's going to be playing guard because I think Petonio's back.
I don't know. I haven't heard.
I mean, at this point, if he's not back, like, what the fuck's going on?
Well, I think the organization knows, kind of like the Steelers know with Aaron Rodgers.
And I think the Browns know with Petonio.
Yeah, I think they do too. But Spencer Fano, man, no, that's fine because I think Warhop, he wants to have that kind of guy that can move around the line.
And you don't draft that high. Like we drafted douchebag at 10. What was his name? Fuck, I can see.
Jedrick Wills.
Jedrick Wills at 10. You don't draft that high for anybody but a left tackle. Like we were talking about drafting a guard as
Right.
high as 14 that the Ravens did. I think that's about as high as you can draft a guard. I don't think you draft that high for anybody that's not going to play left tackle or right tackle. But I think they're going to put Fano at left, and Dewan's going to end up playing right tackle.
Yeah, I would think so.
And I'm happy with that. I think the offensive line is going to be pretty good. It might not start off that well, but I think you get them 4, 6, 8 games into the season. I think they're going to be top 15 in the league.
Well, and Spencer Fano was the first offensive lineman off the board,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So I mean, you had your pick of the litter here.
I wanted Freeling, but he was my number 2. So I'm pretty happy with it.
And then Proctor ended up going to Miami, correct?
Yeah, I didn't want Caden Proctor. I've seen him in a lot of the mock drafts. Didn't like that. Especially that high. If we would have got him at 24, I would have been that mad.
Right. He's no Casey's Concepcion, though.
Right. Definitely no Casey. And God, dude, it was like that was like the first mock I seen. And I seen Casey Concepcion at 24. I'm like, what? Especially with the guys on the board. Cooper was gone at that point, right?
Right.
Okay.
Omar Cooper Jr.?
Yeah, I'll give them a little bit of a pause just for that. But like to me, like the next guy, and Mel said the same thing I said. Like from 16 to fucking 24. Fucking Denzel Boston. And he was still like 16 to 32.
Right. Did anybody else find it funny that like Booger McFarland was not on a perch and he got most of the airtime and Mel Kiper didn't say a damn word from like pick 2 to fucking 26?
Not one fucking word.
Tell me. Like Booger McFarland's going to take Mel Kiper's spot that he's worked for all these years when he was just drawing shit up on a chalkboard talking about the Colts. It's crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
Getting yelled at by another person that has
Yeah.
powder in their bag. Yeah.
All right. Let us know what you guys think. Get in the comments and give us all the smack.
Yep.
I'm giving the Browns, like I said, I think they're a Spencer Fano away from being an F-.
I'm giving them a C-. You're giving them a what? D+?
Yes.
Yeah.
A D, maybe. I don't know.
And this is the life of being a Browns fan.
Welcome in.
And I'm sure we're gonna, draft another defensive tackle at like 18 next year.
Yeah.
So
Why
it's gonna be
not?
great. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fun.
Just block out and watch it again.